Hey, what's up, guys? Doing an update on markets to into the close. I'll talk a little about what we did today in the prop room, and then just a reminder about the webinar Thursday. I'll hit the details on that in a second. Let's start with the overall. Out of the way. I think we're due for a risk-off move. I've been saying that since the latter part of last week. And here's why. You got the VIX making higher lows. So anytime we've been in a 13, 14 handle, it's been a good place to hedge any longs, whether you're individual stocks or if you're playing long S&Ps, which we have for the most part, intraday and on a core basis. Great spot to buy some insurance or just outright speculate on the VIX. So we see that coming off the lows. There's even kind of a bit of a trend line going on there. Not that trend lines are, it's just a small part of what we do. I think the VIX futures rolled. So front month just collapsed, and then now we open up about 16.5 on the most recent contract. And then when I look at the euro, I mentioned this in the live room today that the euro was actually the first to rally in this risk off move. So euro comes off the lows down, peak below 109, then rallied for 2 weeks. Basically, S&Ps followed with the down dollar move. And when you look under the hood a little bit, like on a 30-minute chart, you can see that euro peaked, actually broke. And I was looking at like the hourly chart this morning. We tested the bands here before we started to move to the bands on the S&P. Actually, stocks were up here around 30, 13, 12 today, and then now we tested the hourly. So you can kind of see it's everything's connected. But we've been watching the dollar and the euro. And so I put out a couple charts on Twitter. If you want to follow me there, it's at the Jason Jenkins. But I talked about how longer term, anytime you get a quarterly and a monthly cycle to turn up, what you have on the euro, that's either most of the time that's been followed by at least 6 to 9 month rally and that goes back like the last 10, 15 years. With the exception of 2 of the last quarters, we've actually kind of went sideways. And so that's the type of move you should expect if you get above the weekly and daily reversals, which we have not done yet. So that's up around 114, 115. So even though, we came from lower lows, so it bounced to a lower high in the context of this downtrend. We've done this several times. You peak above what we call the bands here and then do nothing but make another lower high. So now we have the daily cycle. Daily cycles had a correlation and a rhythm throughout this year that's probably, I'm guessing, close to 90% of the time. We get high within our cycle here, we get a lower high. So we covered shorts. We said be patient on this daily cycle on the way up. We did sell some stuff for around 109, 110. And then we got a secondary cycle up, but you can kind of see that now that's rolled over coming into the middle of the week here. So I like that this is a swing line set up in our model. We took out yesterday's low. We'll see if we can move back towards the 8 or the bands here around 104, 107. But I like being core short, and we'll see if that kind of is the precursor to a bigger risk off move. Now you can see in equities, we have plenty of room to come off. We're back high within the range. I don't know what your catalyst is to move to new highs. Doesn't matter trying to figure out what the catalyst is. But again, daily cycle's high. Lots of reasons from a timing perspective that we could see a risk off move. Then when I look at treasuries, we talked about that same thing in the from a cycle perspective. We're right at the bands, so I really think treasuries are itching to go here on another rally. I've bought more 10s, 2s, and even went long a little bit of 30s. I haven't pulled the trigger on long ultras yet. I'm planning on doing that more on an intraday basis. But pretty strong move early this morning. Bonds kind of were moving along with the dollar first, and then equities kind of sold off, especially if you look at the Russell. And then a full retrace back to the lows was a little bit surprising. We were done trading pretty early this morning, so I wasn't really involved in this move back up. but just a nasty close for equities overall. So from a long stock perspective, I'd be a little bit cautious, and we're going to be probably looking to sell the Russell again tomorrow. I guess that kind of segues into what we did today. And let me jump over to that. Oh, well, I have it up, guys. Jenkins, if you go to jenkinscm.com, this is my other company, Jenkins Capital Management. This is kind of a new website. You can click right here. I have a new webinar coming up for this Thursday. It's at 3:30 Eastern. We're going to talk about the markets before the close, and then I'll get into some update on a prop program. What a prop program is, what it's about, an update to how it's going. We were about 2 weeks in. I already had one trader go all the way through the first step. Did about $9 grand in, I think, less than 2 weeks, probably less than 10 days. So I have to go back and count. But really proud of him. That's the stuff that we got going on, our consistency. It's just the same model and process. It's just I'm coaching you guys through the risks, and we're learning a lot of other things about intraday trading, flipping, reversing, pairs trade, how to tighten up your risk there, being long things like S&Ps versus the Russell, trading a lot of treasuries. We're trading the yield curve, so you might be short 5s but long 10s, or short 2s and long 30s, 10s and bonds. Much safer, more consistent way to trade. So we're going to talk about that Thursday. I would encourage you to sign up. Just click that link. It's free to join. Throw in your credentials, yada, yada, yada. And let me try to find what. So here's what we did today. We went short the euro early. Hopefully my trades are still on the chart. Sometimes it clicks off. So we came in short. There was a 15-minute cycle in the context of this 30-minute, 15-minute downtrend. Short, we covered into the low. You had a really great opportunity to re-short PI. That's a stashed green line late in the day. I kind of highlighted that on some of the charts that I put out on social. We also took a short on oil. Got that up. There's actually another secondary move there that worked out pretty good. We were sold into this bounce, covered, and there was another opportunity to sell. I didn't do that we didn't do that as a team here, but I did do that in a couple of other futures accounts. We sold up there, covered. That's just typical intraday contrarian trading. There was a couple, there was some edges up here that we were looking at. It's kind of been in a wedge. You can see we tagged the top end of that wedge in that range today. So it was a good spot to go contrarian short. And then what else did we do? We traded around the Russell from the short side. That was in a near-term, short-term downtrend. That was actually pretty good because we actually ended up cutting some risk, stayed with it, and then we got to cover essentially the low of the move. The low move of the morning. Almost covered the low. So here we were covering right in here, and so we were playing this trend to start the day. Came in short. We popped above this lower high, so we took half off and stayed short. All right. And then when we popped up on the open, you guys can see we ended up shorting into this, what we call, this is a wall concept. So we sold into this, and then as we came back down, we covered the new low. Let's see if I can be able to see it on the 5-minute. So here's where we were selling into that pop right here. So this is my initial sale, 2 lots. We were looking for a break, didn't get it, stopped on half, waited. This is the thing why you stop on everything and then you end up having to get out, get back in, just about half. We were looking to maybe buy S&Ps against that if it really took off. I wasn't too worried about it. We actually ended up shorting some 5s. We were short 5s that we ended up kind of scratching. But here was the open. So we popped on the open, sold into it, and then we covered into the low. That's pretty much it, guys. So we're doing that every day, trading together. I can't work with everybody on this crop program, but I've got a few slots every month that I'm going to open up to whoever's dedicated, wants to do that, passionate about it, coachable, etc. So let me know if you want to do that. You can message me. I'll have more information on that for the sign up on Thursday. So anyway, all right, guys, have a great evening, and I'll see some of you in the morning.